So I just stumbled upon this tool called Fuck You Code, and it's designed to analyze bad code. How wild is that?
Wait, seriously. It has a whole scoring system for how bad your code is.
Exactly, it gives you a shit index from 0 to 100. Higher scores mean worse code. Can you imagine the hilarity?
That's unexpectedly funny, but I wonder how accurate that scoring really is. What if it just overgeneralizes?
That's a good point. It claims to analyze 7 dimensions like complexity and error handling. Seems pretty thorough, right?
It does sound comprehensive, but how do we know those metrics actually reflect usability? I've seen endless bad code that still works.
True, just because code is complex doesn't mean it's unusable, but I guess it's about finding a balance, right?
Exactly. And it's also interesting how this tool outputs colorful reports, makes it a bit more engaging to get critiqued.
Right? It's like getting feedback from a sassy friend instead of a boring report. I love that approach.
But do you think that humor could undermine the seriousness of the critique? Like, would a developer take it seriously?
That's a fair concern. Humor can be subjective. Some might appreciate the lightheartedness while others could feel belittled.
Yeah, it makes me wonder how it balances being funny with being constructive. It could be a double-edged sword.
For sure, and the fact that it runs locally without uploading code is a huge plus for security. That's quite appealing.
Absolutely, privacy is critical, especially for sensitive projects. You don't want your messy code leaked online.
Speaking of privacy, I noticed it supports multiple languages like Go, Python, and Java. That's quite inclusive.
It really is. But I wonder if their scoring system is equally effective across all these languages. That could be tricky.
Good point, each language has its quirks and best practices. I'd be curious to see how it adapts to each one.
Yeah, and what about newbies? Would they benefit from this tool or just get overwhelmed by the feedback?
That's a great question. Maybe it could help them learn, but too much critique might discourage them.
Definitely a balancing act. The value could be in showing them how to improve without feeling defeated.
Exactly, and it seems like it encourages developers to embrace their mistakes. That's a refreshing take.
Yes, turning bad code into a learning experience is such an important mindset. I hope it really promotes that.
And the Markdown report feature for documentation integration is a nice touch. Makes it easier to share insights.
For sure, it could really streamline the process of documenting code quality, especially in team settings.
Totally, but I wonder how it handles edge cases. Some developers might have unique coding styles that confuse the tool.
Good point. If it doesn't adapt well, it might miss the nuances that make a code base unique.
So do you think developers would actually use a tool like this, or would they shy away from the harsh truth?
I think it would depend on the individual. Some thrive on feedback, while others might avoid it for fear of criticism.
That's true. The best case scenario would be a community that embraces feedback and learns together.
Absolutely. And it might even create some funny stories about the worst code, which could be bonding.
Haha, right? It could be like a badge of honor to get a high shit index score.
Exactly. Imagine developers sharing their shittiest code and what they learned from it. That would be priceless.
I'd love to see that. It turns criticism into a conversation rather than just a reprimand.
And that's what makes this tool so intriguing. It blends humor, learning, and community.
So if we put all this together, it's like a humorous yet insightful critique that could foster growth.
Exactly. But it also leaves us wondering how many developers would actually embrace it fully.
Definitely a thought-provoking question. It seems like a fantastic idea with a few caveats.
And I guess the real impact will depend on how well developers can handle feedback. It could revolutionize coding.
Yeah, but it also leaves us with this question. Can humor really enhance our learning in a technical field?
What an interesting thought. I guess we'll have to see if tools like this can reshape coding culture.